Hi guys. So we will be starting shortly. We'll start exactly by 3. Get comfortable. We'll start exactly at 3. Just give us a bit of seconds, guys. We'll be starting shortly. And hi, I welcome you guys, all of you guys, officially to the session today. Let me just start off by introducing myself. So my name is Kumar, and I will be today's host. So the session which we are currently going to be participating, or like you guys would be going through, is career conversations, right? So in this particular segment, what we are trying to establish over here is, of course, what you are in here for, what you will be getting out of this, that I'll try to explain first before moving into it, right? So the first part of it is going to be along the lines of identifying top skill sets which are currently, uh, let's say, most sought after in the market, right? As per the current market standards, basically. Second, we will also try to understand the journey of someone who has gone through this whole let's say program, who's studied through everything, who's acquired the skill sets and all of that, and then continued forward for an interview phase and has successfully cleared the interviews and gotten recruited into a reputed company as well. So what we will try to do is we will try to tag along and understand how exactly the process went. Where did they face the maximum, let's say, complications, or where did they require additional help? What if they had done better, things could have been a little different, right? So these kinds of things would be covered over in this segment, right? So just give us like a couple of minutes and we will be starting forward with this. Okay. So hi guys, what we will be discussing right now, let's say, let me just begin with a simple question. Are you guys a recent graduate, or maybe let's say you guys are in your final semester, or maybe even just looking to kickstart a career in analytics or software development? And today is a lucky day because we will be going upon an exciting conversation which promises not just to be informative and engaging, but also a little bit entertaining on the side, right? So this is what we will be going forward in today's session. And additionally, let's say we just had a discussion in terms of what you will be getting out of this session. To highlight on that again, one, you will understand what are the top skill sets. Second, what is the journey that you need to take to transition from being a fresher, or let's say an engineering graduate, or someone, or maybe even a person who has had 3 years of experience, and because of XYZ reason, you had to discontinue working for a period of 1 or 2 years, right? So that also automatically brings you back to the stage. to the stands of a fresher, right? So in situations like this, when you're in a position such as this, there is always going to be questions on how do I transition from this current role in this current company to a data analyst or to a different kind of a role, right? So that is the journey which we will be focusing more towards. And on top of that, we could also be talking about some of the course offerings and how exactly it can help you to gaining all these most reputed skill sets, right? So this is what we will be doing. And I think I'm seeing a lot of people joining in right now. And yeah, so for those of you guys who have recently just joined in the last 3 minutes, if you check the link description under here, given over here, you would find the link which will take you to a page which talks about the Great Learnings Career Academy part of data analytics and software development, right? For those of you who have already had an interest in data analytics and software development, I would suggest for you guys to go give it a click, go open the form, fill up the details, and you can continue forward. If not, let's say if you're yet to make up your mind, and if you're yet to take the decision, still okay. It's still completely fine. You could still select on the link, continue forward with that registration form part of it. You will immediately receive, under a day's point of time, you will receive a call from a senior counselor, and they will help you identify where your skill sets lie and whether you could transition forward in these roles or not, right? So during that conversation, you can try to take it up whether you want to push forward into data analytics as a career option, right? Just give me one moment. I'm really sorry, guys. I think the guest who was supposed to log in with us is currently facing a small problem with respect to his internet. I'm trying to get him back connected online. Just give me a couple of minutes. I'll get this sorted out. Hi, Prashant. Can you hear us clearly? One second, sorry.
Yeah,
I think my
now,
Bluetooth is connected.
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Kumar.
Hi.
Hi, good
So I
afternoon.
figured like you had a network connection, so you disconnected. So yeah, we would be having a conversation with Mr. Prashant Patil over here, who is an alumni of the program which we would be talking about today, which is the Great Learning Career Academy program. Right. So before we go into the whole interview part of it, let's say about his experiences and everything, for those of you guys who are not aware about what Great Learning Career Academy program actually is, I'll try to give you guys a rundown or a brief upon this, right? So prior to moving into it, actually, yeah. First of all, when you consider data analytics as such, data analytics was one of the most sought after job industries which people would like to take up a job or career in, right? And secondly, when you consider the statistics that is revolving around that, there is somewhere around a staggering amount of 90,000 job vacancies on a year on year basis, right? So this is where we bring up the Great Learning Career Academy program, right? Especially when you're looking at the figure of 90,000 job vacancies, it is not always the fact that all of this is getting filled up on a year basis. Because ideally, not all these 90,000 job opportunities could be taken up by people predominantly because they do not possess the right set of skill sets, right? Conventionally, even though still some of the recruiters are still looking out for master's degree qualifications or a engineering degree in a proper, let's say, uh, computer science discipline or something along that, right? So this is where Great Learning's Career Academy program comes in. People who are, let's say, having a engineering graduate engineering degree, or maybe you are in your final semester or final year part of it, right? Or maybe you're just working in a marketing or a sales oriented domain, right? And you wish to transition forward into a data analytics kind of a role, right? In that place, we are providing a program which is of a duration of 4 months, which you would be attending in a classroom kind of format. Because from what we have seen, 27% of the tech related or data science related job opportunities, right? The data analytics jobs, these are predominantly focused upon these tier 1 cities of Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, Gurgaon, these areas, right? So these are specific areas in which we also have our centers at, in where you can enroll yourself and you can continue going with the classes for, right? So our program will also be teaching you all the required skill sets over a duration of 4 months, which is, if you try to break it down, right, it is a total of somewhere around 16 weeks. So we also at times we like to call this course with a tag name stating learning to earning in 16 weeks. I guess Prashant, you would be most aware about
Yeah,
this tagline, right?
yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. So more in depth about this program we'll be discussing later on. Before we talk about the complete details about the program, we'll just have a brief view in terms of how you felt about this, right? Prashant, so what I would like to begin with over here is I would like to know where your journey began, as in how did you exactly like figure out your stream that you wanted to study? How did you end up being an engineer? And then from engineering you pushed forward to data analytics. So how did this transition and this journey start?
Yeah, Kumar. Like, hi everyone. My name is Prashant. I'm from Belgaum, Karnataka.
Hmm.
I've done my graduation as B Mechanical from KLE Institute of Technology, Belgaum. Currently, I'm working at Tredence as data analytics.
Okay.
So, talking about my career transitions, I have been a mechanical engineer, but my keen interest was in data, like how data plays an important role in finding out insights, and business takes the insights and make it uh, decide take decision out of it. So that brings my point of why data is so important and how data plays an important role in our life. So this brought my interest in analytics and where insights can play important role. So this is why I choose analytics.
Were you interested from like an earlier on period only, or like somewhere towards, let's say, towards the end of your engineering degree? Did you decide at that point of time only that, man, I think mechanical is not cut out for me, and maybe I should start exploring into other job roles? And maybe back then only you decided that data analytics would be the most feasible option. Is that something that you came across at that duration only during college?
Yeah, like in engineering, analytics were in boom in the market, and everyone was talking like analytics and data.
True.
So even I got interest and like curiosity why, what is this analytics and all. So I came up with a few of the uh, videos and all, and wherein I found out that analytics is such that even a non-coder, like non-technical background, can if he wills to do it, he can do analytics, and there is no such thing that like non-technical guy cannot do that.
That is true. So
So
when you are looking into the field of data analytics, I would actually, yeah, Prashant, what you just mentioned, I would like to highlight upon that again. Data analyst role is a very important role because sometimes the senior executive management, right, they consider the data analyst team to be the backbone for the company. Because any company, be it an artificial intelligence related company or a retail industry related company, anything as such, consumer goods, etc., right? All of these companies are on a minute on minute basis or on an hour on hour basis. There are major decisions which is being taken, right? And this is taken by like senior employees and all of that, of course. But that decisions with these with sorry which these senior employees take, that is based on the insights or patterns understood post data analysis,
yeah,
right? That is where the data analyst pulls out all the raw form of data, tries to understand and make sense out of it, and then he comes to a conclusion of how that data can be used, let's say, in a beneficial manner for that particular company's uses, right? And that is why it is extremely important, because without taking decisions, you cannot run a company, right?
yeah,
So
that is
data
what
analyst ultimately is one of the prime jobs which I think is sought after predominantly across the world, I think. And second best cases, which I think you might not be aware of. Uh, so somewhere around 1 in 10 job openings, right, around the world is happening through India. So India
yeah,
is actually the second largest country for the number of data analyst analytics jobs that we have, right? But in like looking away from the statistics and looking away from the figures and everything, coming into a genuine human feel, there is always going to be this human emotion of fear, which stops you from taking this decision and going forward and actually enrolling forward in a program? I'm sure you might have also faced similar situations. It's not like, I'm guessing it's not like you immediately decided, yeah, data analytics only, and I'm going to do this program of GLCA only, right? That was
Yeah,
not the case, right?
that was one of the things. Yeah.
So how exactly did this begin? How was your decision making process, and how were your family members supportive with this?
Like starting they didn't supported that why you are going to Bangalore. I never been out of my hometown, so why you're being going to Bangalore and doing this? It like do your like doing some industries in like core companies, find job here. But like my like interest was too in data analytics, and I thought like in like I have to do it now, or else I would be in here only stuck. Like so uh, I came to Bangalore just completing my exam in the afternoon. I sat in the train in evening. I came here. I visited the Great Learning campus. I saw the how organized it is. They have their own Olympus. They have their own teaching rooms, facilities, and best part was that they have the offline classes. And the timings are like if you like from morning we wish morning to 2 o'clock, and or else if you had any meeting or presentations, that would stretch out to about 6 o'clock and all. So what I feel like great uh, about this great learning is that it is like they grill you to very, they push your limits and bring out of your comfort level, which is what I was expecting out some of the programs. So I've compared a couple of the programs, and which I found like great learning was one of the most better for me.
So additionally, on top of this, I think since after you compared with other, let's say, institutes or sources through which you could have completed the program, is there anything that you would like to highlight over here with respect to, let's say, while going for the placements part of it, or while having to look into the recruitment part? Now that the course was over, when you're considering recruitment part of it, do you think you were equipped with the right skill sets, and like what do you think exactly helped you out in that scenario?
Like career prep team like helped me a
Yeah.
lot in every possible uh, like every possible situation. Like if like tomorrow I have an interview, they would call me and take a mock interview today according to the needs and requirement of the company. So they would provide me a material of what all the aptitude and what all the technical questions they would ask, and like pretty much in everything they've helped me. Just my task was to crack it.
Okay. So I think I have information that you had access to somewhere around 10 job opportunities, which could be ranging from companies like Amazon, Dell, and some of these major big companies, correct? So the preparation process and all of this for that, for the interview, was this stressful? How was your whole journey with this? Were you able to adapt because you had to study also? Additionally, you had to look out for the job opportunity which is coming up, right? So how did you plan and manage your time?
like uh, like interviews were scheduled like we were like after the exams, like we completed the course in 4 months. After
Hmm.
that we had an exam. After clearing that, we went to a placement pool wherein uh, like wherein the companies would come, the career prep team would help us and guide us through all the steps. I have cracked two interviews, and which I have got two offer letters, wherein these were the first two, wherein I've cracked the
The
first
very
two.
first two only you
First,
cracked, is
yeah,
it?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think that's why you haven't had to face any of the stressful situations or pressure as such, I guess.
yeah,
Let me ask you a question on this note. Did you sit for college placements? Is there a story there?
yeah. I have attended a couple of placement, but due to some criteria, like I have less in academics, so
Okay.
that was the drawback. So I tried my best in college campus, but
Hmm.
it doesn't happen. So I switch, like I was in fear in my college, so I choose to great learning. Like I've cleared all the doubts before joining it. So they told like if you have the right skill set and all, uh, then you would definitely get a job.
Okay. I think as a fellow engineer, I think I can also relate to it because I did have my fair share of problems when it came to placements. It was an extremely stressful situation. I've seen like my friends of mine running around from one company to another company trying to crack all their levels of interview. And I think back then at that point of time when I finished out, data analyst sought after, but we didn't have much information exactly upon how do you crack into a job role. Like if you're coming from a degree or a discipline which is not along the lines of computer science or coding or something like that, we used to assume that no, we can't become a data analyst anymore because I studied EC or like I studied mechanical engineering, BSc, etc. Right, which didn't have much about computer science. This is a change which we used to be under. This is 5 6 years back, but considering right now, considering the fact that all that information is currently available in your fingertips, what are these skill set, what are these tools that you learned over this program which are helping you to get this job or helping you to function in this current job in Tredence?
Yeah, before joining to Great Learning, I didn't know anything. Like I was a non-technical guy.
Okay.
Even I didn't know what are the data types and all. So coming to Great Learning, they taught us about from scratch, and like they have told everything. In they started with Excel. After that, they covered they like till advanced Excel. After that, SQL, then Python. After that, they taught us a visualization tool like Tableau, uh, wherein the major tools we have which we have learned in Excel, same tools have been used in Tredence,
Okay.
and I find it easy now. Like I've learned it before, and I've had good hands-on experience on
Okay,
in
so I'm,
all
I'm
such
guessing
tools.
you worked upon projects as well and like a couple
Yeah,
other things where you had to test out these tools.
yeah,
Okay. And when you were talking about the fact earlier, right, that immediately after your examination got over, you filled up and you came to Bangalore to continue the course with great learning.
yeah.
So I have come to believe that there is an online option also. And considering code and everything, I believe people are getting a little bit comfortable with online. So how come you ended up deciding on a classroom format? Because I do understand classroom format is more maybe for some type of people it's easier for them to learn with the faculty in present. For some people, just the audio visual part of it could also be working. And on that note, how did you decide that yeah, I want to go to Bangalore or I want to study there?
Like online, we have struggled a lot. Like we have 2 years gap. Like COVID hit us, and we were online for 2 years. That didn't make any sense for having an online class, and same thing will happen and repeat again. Like you don't give much attention to it. Wherein in offline like classrooms, we we study with our buddies, our friends. We compete with them. Like have a we build up a working culture with collaborations, and that's all. We are in Olympus. We have we have all the students. We have the ranking, wherein we see our rank. We compete with them. We complete the tasks. Like who completes the better will rank the top. So these all were the things like we enjoyed a lot in the classrooms. So we talked, we interact, we have a good group sections, group interviews, and all. Like these were the like classroom oriented. So this wouldn't be in like online sessions. So this is why the
So I'm
major
guessing
thing.
you did a lot of networking along with studying and like coding in this program, correct?
Yeah, like I've made good friends and all. I've worked in collaborations. I've learned like leadership qualities and working in collaborations, like also listening and also advising others. These all things have came with the classroom things.
Okay. So networking wise, I think it could have been extremely useful for you, irrespective. Like even now that you're in Tredence, even further, looking away, let's
Yeah,
say 2 years, 3 years down the line, I think the people that you got connected with right now, I think you'll still be in touch with them later on.
yeah,
That's a
I'm
really
with
good
them.
thing which came out of the program, I believe.
Yeah, like I
So,
have been in touch with everyone. Like different companies, we share our what are the feedbacks, what our company is doing, and what like take the updates and all. Like we feel like connected with each other.
So, but over here, when you consider, I'm really glad that you felt comfortable studying in a classroom atmosphere, connecting with all these people, and getting a very good network. But it doesn't, let's say, balance out the fact that it's still a program which requires intensive studying, right? And I'm guessing you did not have much of programming experience prior to this, right?
Yeah, I didn't have any programming knowledge. Like I wasn't from core, like simple data types and all. Like I didn't know anything of that. But coming towards the great learning, they have taught us in from the scratch. They've made like they've made build me as a like at that level that I can sustain in any environment, like in the company and all. Coming towards a non-technical guy, like it like yeah, coming towards grading, I didn't know what is Python, what is SQL, SQL, Excel. I knew like only tables and rows, but there are automations. There are like Excel is a very powerful tool. We can do much more things in that. That all things I have realized in jail.
Okay. So let's say you told me that you registered, you enrolled for the program and all of that. So in that duration of you learning all these tools, completing these projects, the programs and everything, was there anything that you particularly liked about how your learning journey was? Because you studied engineering, I'm very sure you also had a college experience. 2 years could be online, but 2 years was still offline also, right? So you have a mixed collection of experiences with which you can compare. Correct. So on that line, when you try to compare, what was the things that you can pick out from this data analytics program which you did that maybe helped you to, let's say, pick up the skills sooner or made it easier for you to pick up these skills?
Yeah, like I would be very grateful and thankful for career prep team. They helped me a lot. They have conducted one-on-one sessions, mock interviews, uh, and aptitude sessions, wherein people don't feel like aptitude is a like important, but the very first of cracking any interviews is the aptitude, which I've realized in great learning. And apart from in learning sections, great learning has provided us faculties which were from product based as well as service based. Like they have taken our continuous feedback and what are the improvements which like the most. And the career prep team helped us a lot. Like they in every matter, like tomorrow I have an interview, they would call me, they will take mock interviews, they will like prepare everything. So I felt career prep team and the assistance of great learning is very much good.
Okay. So I had another question also. Maybe this is something which you could choose to answer actually. So I know for a fact that you had an opportunity of somewhere around 10 placements, which you can continue forward for based on the companies that you're interested to apply forward with. Correct?
Yeah.
So you sat and you got in through the first two only. How come you didn't try for, like, let's say me as a person, if you take into consideration, right? I'm an average person, just like any other person out there. If somebody tells me like, where do you want to work at? I'm definitely going to be like Google, Amazon, etc. So how did this come up? Because I'm very sure in those two rounds of interviews, you also had to go through a lot of exhaustive rounds of interviews, which you had to clear, right? So coming from a mechanical background, there is definitely going to be that fear, since you do not belong to the industry, nor do you belong to that the degree or discipline which they expect. Attending an interview at that point of time is definitely something extremely scary for me to experience as a person, because I like to look at outcomes, whether it is possible or not. So when I do the analysis myself, I'll be like, EC engineer, not much of coding. Like, is that possible for me to get a job, even if I study these courses? That fear as an element would have definitely been inside for you, right? So is there any advice that you would want to share for the people who are listening into the session? Maybe these could be people who are along the same line. Maybe this is a fresher who's listening into this session, or maybe it's a person who just, let's say, they had to discontinue from work for 3 years post marriage and they want to get back into this, right? They're also somewhat of a fresher level experience only currently. So they would definitely have this fear of taking that decision or taking that step and continuing to enroll in this program or any program as such, right? Because that taking that step of actually wanting to upskill and learn, that is what landed you this job. If you had let the fear take you over, take control, and if you hadn't actually enrolled in a program or learned all of this systematically yourself, this kind of a transition to Tredence, I'm guessing wouldn't have been a possibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for when I was like at the first starting of GL, I was not very much confident of talking anything. I used to not talk like this only. So, uh, but the career prep team and all, they built our confidence. They took our presentations, group presentations and all. Coming towards the placement, like they assisted in every possible way. After cracking first interview round, I was pretty much confident. And when I had a Tredence interview, they told like you don't need anything. I think you will crack this and all. Like I gave in the afternoon interview, the final interview, and at the evening I got the result as you have cleared and welcome to Tredence.
Okay.
So like great learning assists you in everything. Like you are like if you are ready to give your 100%, then surely you will definitely get the job.
I'm very sure you did give you 100% because you did land up with a reputed, you did end up landing a job in a reputed company.
Yeah,
Again, congrats on that. I'm sorry I didn't mention that before when we started the session.
thank you.
Congratulations. I think it has been a long journey, but finally you're at the end. And I'm really hoping for the fact that this doesn't just end here and you find a lot more in your career coming ahead.
Yeah, thank you Kumar. Like
Yeah.
it's been a
So,
great, and I'm very much thankful for great learning for like giving me this opportunity, and like I have choose great learning for the placement.
this
And
part, like again, just because you mentioned this part, I want to check with you again on another area. So when you study the program, gave the interview and everything, you did your preparations yourself. Point one works. Secondly, when it comes to actually learning, right, like certain things of it, we can't just pick it up just like that. So on that note, I wanted to know, like, how was your experience with the instructors who taught you all of this? And additionally, let's say maybe the course materials or any one of it you can bring up, whichever was most helpful for you to understand a new concept from scratch till advanced for you to actually learn it and also implement it by yourself in the projects and everything that you completed.
like talking about the course material, we have a website called Olympus, wherein we get the like materials, where we have the videos and all. After that we have some quiz, and after that we have projects based on that. And in classroom also, they've been like teaching us everything. They've coding us in, also in, like in more sorry, also in like,
Yeah.
also in mock interviews, like they mock interviews, we code it live, like we share the screen and all. Like we find pretty much like they build from scratch, they slowly develop us
So it's
and
more like you
bring
had
us.
constant support whenever you hit a wall or like whenever you didn't understand a particular, let's say, code part of it, which was implemented, let's say, or your program, your project, which you probably did, if it didn't work the right way, you had support constantly, is it?
Yeah, I have a support, like everything. Like if I had doubt, I would go directly to, like, in online sessions we have to like message them, or like we find it difficult to contact them. But in the classroom, if I had in doubt, we would straightforward go to the teachers and all, and ask them for the whatever, clarify our doubts. uh,
Okay.
that was the thing.
Just give me 1 second. Yeah. So, I think I'm looking at a lot of new participants who have joined in with us, Prashant. So, just let me just take a bit of time to get them all up to speed on what exactly is happening in this live session right now. Right. Yeah. So, hi guys. For those of you who just recently joined in with us, we are trying to discuss about the journey, the experience of how Prashant started from an area where he didn't, or like he didn't, he had very minimal knowledge about coding, He started his journey from there, studied all of his tools, skill sets, and everything, and how he ended up landing a job in a reputed company like Tredence. Right. So this is what we're talking about. And on that context, another thing which you guys need to be aware about is the program which Prashant completed, which is Great Learning Career Academy program, which is on data analytics and software development. To give you a brief rundown on that, this is a 4-month program which is conducted on an offline format in most of these major cities, the tier 1 cities which I told you about. So these cities comprise about 27% of the tech related data analytics related jobs. So our centers are also predominantly, they're situated or located in these areas, which are Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Gurgaon, Pune, Hyderabad, these areas, right? Also, for those of you guys who are not very comfortable to leave your house, maybe you can't, like your parents are not okay with that or something along that line. There is also an online version of it, this program, which you can complete in 5 minutes, right? So this completely comes down to the comfort level of what you guys think would be the best option for you. Because either format may, if you're comfortable to learn, you would be learning the same type of tools and languages, which is essential for a data analyst to be aware about, right? This program provides somewhere around 10 guaranteed placement opportunities, which you can sit for and attend the interviews. And these companies, the companies which you might be able to sit for, could be it could be ranging from Amazon, Google, or any other company as such, which is a major leader in the tech industry, right? So more along the lines of this, let's say another question which people would want to be answered is, what are the, let's say, average packages which someone could achieve? Or if you're like me, who always wants to know the maximum range and everything, the highest package which was reported at the moment is 9 lakhs per annum, and the average which we have come to see is 4.6 lakhs. To give it a more, let's say, accurate structure, it ranges between the bracket range of 3 lakhs to 6 lakhs per annum, right? So this, of course, again, there are multiple parameters which is coming into the hiring process part of it. This depends completely upon the work that you've put in, the amount of projects that you've written, and other areas, right? So looking at it over here, away from the projects, assignments, and everything, coming back to our guest, Mr. Prashant, Great Learning provided you with all of these tools, these services, the instructors who helped you out with constant support and all of that. But away from that, I'm 100% sure that you would have definitely put down some kind of additional effort, an area where you had to like put down additional homework, because you knew that you wanted to get placed in a very good company. So is there anything that you would like to talk about on that line? The things that you did to prepare yourself, let's say, even it could be mentally, to avoid anxiety when you sit for an interview, etc.
Like I would go, like after completing the classes I would go have a like have a sleep and all. I would get refreshed, and that I like I won't spare much of the time, like 1 or 2 hours. Thing is that you have to understand the things like concept and all. That's all. uh,
Okay.
After that, like in classroom we have like good hands-on practice wherein we can understand everything. If you have any doubts we can clarify there and there only.
Okay.
So like apart from extra I have not done anything. It's just like the classrooms and the material there, right? But the great learning is, you can say, if you want to like become something, it is a called as a regress training. They will give everything, like every possible way. They will train you in like they will train you
So
like
I think we could say it's more like a push pull. You
push,
also have to
like
put in
push
your 100% to
100%.
study and like go forward with the program, and then you can expect the outcome, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Correct.
if you give your 100%, definitely that, like we call it as a regress training. So great learning, like they have scheduled their materials and course like that. Like they have in like like number of projects. Like after the Excel, we have a couple of projects. After completing particular section, we have project on based on that.
Okay.
So yeah,
So yeah, just let's take a moment, Prashant. I think you should also take a moment to like catch your breath. We've
yeah,
been having this conversation for a good period of time. Let me just take a bit of time to address the questions that has been coming up in the chat box also. I think one of these questions, yeah, it's a really important question which needs to be addressed. I think it's by a person called Manoj Jain. If I have 41 years of age, will I still be able to land a 6 lakh package? Prashant, I think if you're comfortable, do you wish to answer the question?
Yeah, like definitely. And like I've seen in data science, people from like core like companies like age of 40, 30, they still joined us to learn something. So that is not a problem. Like you can explain it better. Come on.
Yeah. So to elaborate on this, Manoj, if you're still listening, uh, any person who's had a mathematics in their discipline, be it BCA, sorry, BSc, BCom, or like you did mechanical engineering, like Prashant over here, or electronics and communication engineering, like myself, any person with a mathematics discipline, and additionally a degree can enroll for this program. So be it that you're a fresher, you're a recent engineering graduate from the field of biotechnology or mechanical engineering, or maybe you're a BCom graduate who finished 3 years back, or maybe you're working in sales. You've been working in sales till the age of 41, let's say, and you want to transition forward to a different role, right? You can still pick it up because the expectations placed upon the program that we're currently talking about is any person who possesses an engineering degree or any graduate degree as such, any undergraduate degree as such, where he studied mathematics, you can enroll forward for the program, right? It is not a, I wouldn't say that you shouldn't, it's not required for you to know coding at all. Minimal coding, knowing that is preferred, but yes, with very minimal experience in coding, you can still take up the program and become a data analyst. And of course, based on the work that you're putting in, the quality of projects that you're completing, and how you actually participate in the interviews, you can get more than 6 lakhs also. I think this would be my answer from my end. If there's anything else, you guys can always keep updating over the chat box, and we'll get back to you guys towards the last 10 minutes of the segment, right? And almost we're there also. Yes. So Prashant, uh, I have a sister. I have a sister whose story I want to bring up. So she is someone who has worked as a business analyst for like 3 years to 4 years point of time, and due to her difference in interest, since she wanted to pursue something else, she was trying to figure out a way of freelancing for a period of 2 years. So that is a gap which was formed, right? Gap in her resume, gap which states that for a period of 2 years in a professional capacity, she hasn't worked in a data analyst or a business analyst kind of a role, right? So, fact of matter right now is she wants to look into an opportunity of breaking into an industry of data analytics again, like re-entering again. But that gap she is not able to exactly like justify. For a person like that, do you think taking up a program like what you finished right now, would that be helping you to bridge that requirement that these HRs would have? That no, I want. Where is your 2 years of experience? Why didn't you not work for 2 years? Do you think this program certification could help balance that ask that the HRs would usually have?
Yeah, like I have friends in our course. Like they have like 2 3 years of year gap. Personally, talking personally, I have a 1 year academic gap.
Okay.
So like I had a fear of that. So I have like I had enjoyed conversation before the getting same like this. So wherein I have searched out. So best example best example is that myself. So there is like gap won't matter here. What matters is what skill set, what you have learned. If you have gap of 2 3 years, it doesn't matter. What is like the few companies don't see criteria; they see your knowledge based. So what that is what uh,
So
the
when you got access to the course materials and the classes and everything, I think that's how the process would have been for you when you were attending the classes. On week basis, you would have gotten access to all these important modules which you need to learn and other resources, I believe, right? So when you were looking at that, did you know that like you're being prepared exactly for what a job would require, what a data analyst job would require, or was it similar to college where like where you had to learn theory also separately and then like a little bit of it in practical, or was this more hands on, more of practical and less of theory? How was your journey? How was your experience?
It was more like hands on. They were more on focus on getting a job.
Okay.
Like they would train us for every possible way, like what companies would ask, what companies would like, this would be the important topic. Like they, after completing particulars, they would like, they would hand over their projects. Like most of the in interviews, mostly they will ask about the projects, what project you have done, and what are the insights, and what are the tools you have used. Mostly the projects are the main thing, and the great learning focus is more on the project. And we give, like we have presented, and we have given mock interviews, external mock, internal mocks. We are where in external mocks they hire from the industrial expert, and they pay for them to take our interviews. And that is what I found great in
Okay.
helped me to get a job. And that is what job focused is what great
Here
learning is.
again, like it's a very good answer. Again, I had to say that. But coming back into the program part of it, where let's say you sat in a classroom with certain amount of people, let's say with the students that you connected with, you formed a network with. Didn't you at any point of time feel a little bit scared or overwhelmed or maybe like overshadowed because there are other people in the class and maybe they had prior experience to coding and all that? Did that ever come to be a factor which you were thinking about? Like, let's say he knows more than me, he's been coding for 2 years, he'll understand much more better things than me. Like, I'll be a little slower. Were issues like that something that you faced initially?
Like the program is designed in such a way that even the beginners and even the like experienced fellows, like they can find it, they can match up, they start from the they will start from the scratch. So like, and the projects are such like uh, curious and like interest driven, like even the experienced fellows will find it like it is something that difficult for, it is
Okay, so
kind of difficult things.
I'm guessing that you're
So
not in touch with some of these people who have had prior experience in
yeah,
this already,
it was a
coding data
mix of
scientists.
everything, we know, like mix of everything. Like we we see each other, like we judge each other, and we find what are the areas we have to develop. And like we
Okay,
compete and
peer evaluation where your
yes,
friends basically judge the work that you've done, the projects that you've done.
yeah,
Okay.
we
That's actually
compete
a
with
really
this.
good way of learning because when your friends tell you you're going wrong, it's less, you take less offense than somebody else telling you you're
Yeah,
going wrong.
yeah, like we do mistake in the classroom instead of making in real life. So we learn there from our mistakes and all. We compare with each other, and we find out what skills we have lagging behind. Like we work in collaboration. The teamwork is important.
So, did you ever come to think, though, like in a span of 4 months, just like 16 weeks, did you ever think that you might be able to transition from being a fresher, not yet having gathered the experience of working, to a place where you're successfully placed in a company like Tredence, and that too as a data analyst, which is the job that you're actually looking for? So, where you did you have this plan come up earlier on only that in 4 weeks, my life will change from here to there?
Like I don't have like didn't believe like I would have been placed in such a good company. But like the like continuous effort and all that I have gave, and what GL have gave us, like this all the efforts would matters. And I didn't thought in beginning, but after completion or like end of the program, I had a confidence, like I would give me any in interview, I would crack it. So like
I
I
think
thanks.
I would probably say that it's mostly because of your efforts because you already
Yeah,
had the determination to go forward with it. It's just a sharpening upon the right skill sets, which is being expected or which is being in demand in the current market, right? That may be great learning provided to you as a platform. Rest of it, when you look into it, you did most of this work. So I want you to take the credit completely for that. You made this possible and you got this job in Tredence, right?
Yeah.
So on that, again, the most important aspect of every person's life, our family, especially our parents, like our mother and father. So how was their reaction when you told them you wanted to join a program like this? This is number one. Number two, what was their reaction when you told them, Ma, I got the job, this is my offer letter? So how exactly was it? Now this I want to know, and this I'm more interested to.
Like number one, at the start they were not like supportive, like uh, why you're going to Bangalore, do something here, like what is data analytics, why you're switching you're in core and why you're switching to IT. They didn't support it. And like I've explained everything, like this is the booming thing and all. uh, Coming toward the financial part, like I've explained, great learning has like loaning partners, they have flexible EMI options and all. I've explained everything. And coming towards the second part, uh, like when I told I've got the job and all of such and so, they didn't expect
You
it.
can
Like,
you can bring this up
so,
with a little bit of more joy. You can express
yeah,
a little bit more joy, bro. It's just a
yeah.
live session. You can still like, it's you. The whole credit goes to you because you got this job.
When I told them like I've got the job and so such so and so package, they were like they were like very much happy. They told everyone that uh, so and so my son has got. And even though now they tell, if any of the friend, they tell like if their son is not work, like sitting idle or something, like they refer me and tell me that see this guy, refer this guy, and refer this guy, and see my son has done so and so course and got placed in such a company, so I feel proud about it. So yeah.
That is actually a really good like moment as such. I would call that a moment because when your parents start boasting about you, they never do it in front of your face. That's a problem which I never understood about. But they always do end up boasting about you when you actually reach somewhere to others. And hopefully I'll be also getting there soon. In a year or two, I'll also be probably getting to a level of that. And of course, yeah, like the rest of the listeners on here also, if you guys are interested in the field of data analytics and if you want to consider a career in data analytics, I would suggest for you to please refer to the link provided in the description below. Follow the link, you will be taken to a page where you have to fill up a few basic details, and you can have a counseling call immediately post that, and you can decide whether or not this is the best and feasible choice for you to continue with right now, right? And second, for those people who are yet to figure out whether or not this is the best option for me, even for you guys, I would still suggest go on, register yourself, right? Because the batches are getting filled up since the offline classes happen predominantly in these tier one cities only, in these six different places, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and all these other centers which I talked about earlier. These would be getting filled up fast. So what I would suggest is, even if you think for a moment that maybe this might be the right choice for me in my career right now, I would still suggest for you guys to fill up, do register, have the counseling call with our senior counselors, and they will help you identify whether or not uh, you could transition successfully, like how Prashant did, right? They would try to analyze your professional and your educational background, and they'll help you set up a plan on whether or not what you're expecting of how to become a how to become a data analyst, whether that is possible or not, and that part of it you can have and confirm with the senior counselor, right? Again, the link description you can find it below, right? So I think that brings us up to speed with respect to most of the journey that Prashant had to go through for starting from a scratch or a surface level position to reach a job, a full time employment in a reputed company like Tredence. Right? Thank you so much for sharing all of these insights, Prashant. And I'm really glad that we were able to discuss a few things which might have gotten people to understand of how to take that step, how to look away from that fear and take the step or of actually learning and upskilling yourself, which ultimately opened up the doors for job and other employment opportunities, right? If there is anything that you would like to add on as an advice, because we have quite a few people listening in on this session, and If you think something which I might have forgotten to highlight, or like which you think would be, which you think is something that others are supposed to know before they start this journey, you can
Yeah.
share such instances.
Like I would like to highlight one thing, like in GL, they not only focus on the technical part, they also focus on soft skills, like your communications, like communication soft skills, resume building, like your body language. They focus on everything, like soft skills, and even the aptitude part, which I find found like compared to others, these are the most highlighted parts. And GL is more reputed in this, and in data analytics, the in technical part they have brought such a good faculties, uh, like they have shared their real time experience and all, which which I found to be like great from the jail.
Yes. So I think it would be safe for me to conclude by saying the Great Learning Career Academy program part of it. This is for any person who could be a fresher, or let's say a final semester student, or someone who has experience but not in the coding related field. Any of you guys who are planning on transitioning forward, right? There is always going to be this one obstacle which you guys will be facing, which is the fact that when you appear for an interview, sometimes there is a requirement that people want you to have proven qualifications or proven experience of using coding or using, let's say, data analytics related things, right? Related elements part of it, which unfortunately for a person who's like a fresher or someone who's had a gap in their career, you cannot showcase that, right? So this is a major obstacle which most of us would be facing, and that is what this program of Great Learning's Career Academy program on data analytics and software development comes to be of help. How it comes to be of help is it serves as a bridge course. It serves as a bridge course where that requirement of having that proven qualifications or proven capacity of working on coding, that you are gathering in this 16 weeks or 4 months, where you learn all of these tools and skill sets which is most essential for you to function in the role of a data analyst, right? So what you would be learning through this program from zero to, let's say, the advanced levels part of it, these are things which you will happen to come to implement when you get landed or get placed in that company, in that job which you were searching after, right? So I think with this we could conclude today's session. Let me just check if there are any other questions over chat if you guys want me to answer. Cost of the program, please do follow the link. You will be able to go forward with this. You will find the registration form and everything. I would suggest for you guys to do your own research also. Please follow the form, follow the link. You will find a lot more detailed instructions over there with respect to the number of hiring partners that are in partnership with Great Learning, right? Which would be somewhere around 2,600 plus hiring companies. Additionally, the number of, let's say, the number of months, the duration of the program, and what are the tools, the most important of it. Not just a certification is enough, but a certification which is teaching you the most in demand, sought after tools. That is what is most important. So you can go there and verify whether the tools which you think are most important, are we giving that or not? Does the program provide these? All of these areas you can definitely compare. And second, for those of you who are a little bit lazy but who also want to take a decision at the earliest, I would suggest again, fill up the form. You will get a phone call. At least you will have someone who is qualified to help you understand where you stand professionally and what you could do post completing the program, right? So then you can take up a decision on whether or not to actively pursue a career in data analytics and software development, right? So I think that brings us to the end of this segment. Again, Prashant, I don't know how much further to thank you for, because this was a really informative segment. I really hope that others were also the people who have gotten to log in with us, who have been a part of this session with us from the beginning. I really hope they have been able to learn something new out of this session. And based on your insights, your journey, and of course, the final part of it, the parents' reaction, which was a highlight for me for this whole session,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I would like to wish you forward for all of your future endeavors. And hopefully, we might be having an interview soon enough, maybe immediately after another jump in your career, right? So we'll stay connected on that.
Yeah, surely, sure. Kumar. Like we will be in contact, and surely I wish everyone like they choose like they look after a great learning, and if they have any query they can pin me in LinkedIn. Like my name is Prashant Prakash Patil. If I have any query, I'm ready to help.
Perfect. So, guys, that was Prashant, who was our guest who we had for today's session of Career Talks, Career Conversation Talks with us, hosted by Great Learning, and your today's host, which is me, which is Kumar Karupaya. So, we will get back to you guys on this on the upcoming segments, which you guys will be a part of, hopefully. And more along this, more different roles, different journeys that people went through. What are the difficulties and everything that they had to cross, right? That they had to come through and everything. Those are areas which we will try to highlight in the upcoming weeks, right? As of now, I'm hoping that I've answered most of the chat related questions. If you have any further questions, or if you have even the slightest interest, let's say, on data analytics related programs, I would suggest for you to go and do your research. Additionally, we are also putting down the link description below. This will give you the complete detail or complete explanation with respect to what this program can offer for a person like you, right? So this link description, please follow the link and you will be able to find all the related details which could help you move closer towards taking the decision. And yeah, of course, you also will be getting a call from a senior counselor. So they will also guide you and support you on taking this decision with respect to answering any and all of your doubts on how the market is of data analytics, what kind of tools will be taught, and how difficult it could turn out to be. Maybe that is also a valid question, because for a person like me who doesn't know much about coding, my first question is going to be whether or not will I be able to complete this, right? So for questions such as this, for doubts such as these which you have, please do register, get a counseling call, clear all of your questions before you move ahead, right? So that would be all from us from Great Learning for today. I'm really looking forward to meet you guys in the next upcoming sessions. See you guys.